Good morning. Well, in this weekend, actually for several days now, I have been going to the store almost every day looking for hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, disinfectant spray, and have only gotten lucky one time, and that was when I called the store to find out when their next truck was. And it just so happened to be their next truck just arrived, and they said, give us a couple hours before you come. I gave them an hour, and when I got there, they did have some hand sanitizers, some spray, some wipes, but they had a limit. And at that time, it was a limit of 4 of whatever you're buying. Now, I'm seeing the limit is 1, and they're still out. And so, I was kind of boo-hooing about it on, my family has a little forum on Facebook that we all kind of keep in touch and keep up to date with each other. And my aunt had posted a recipe to make your own hand sanitizer. So I started looking up, a whole bunch of different recipes. And they said that you had to make sure that the alcohol content is very high, because when you put aloe and glycerin and different things, it dilutes the alcohol. And it needs to be at least 70% to kill the virus. So I made my own hand sanitizer this weekend. And it's not as, jelly-like and firm that you get, but it works. Very potent. But it made me realize, I had all the ingredients at my house because over the years I've been preparing for such a time as this. And I will say that many people, even people who were very close to me and knew me well, they thought I was a little on the fringe, a little kooky, and some of them weren't even afraid to tell me that they thought I was insane. But I told them, you might think I'm insane now, but one day I'm going to be a genius. And that's today. I am a genius because all these years I have prepared. I've always, done the grocery shopping at our house. Times have changed. Sean usually does the grocery shopping now just because our jobs have changed. But whenever we go to the grocery store, we always buy a little more than we need. And so, we're never without. Ever. And seriously, right down to hot sauce. We are never without. If we run out, I know that in Mama Cheek's pantry, we got what is needed. And there were times that after my daughters moved out that I said, come over and grab some groceries. And they could. And so today, my positive motivational video for today is let this time be your lesson. In 2006, we had some really bad straight line winds that took out the power in Omaha. I only lost power for 3 days, but there were several other people who lost power for way longer than that. And if it wasn't for my sister-in-law who had an empty freezer that I could use, I would have lost everything in my freezer. And that was a lot back then. I would buy, bulk and keep it all in the freezer. So thankfully I didn't lose it, but I knew that I had to figure out another way of storing food that I didn't have to rely on electricity. And so I learned how to can. And that was 2006. This is 2020, so I've been canning a long time. And I teach people for free because I believe in it so much. I believe in self-reliance. And so that was my lesson. I knew that if it wasn't for my sister-in-law, I would have lost all that food, and that was a lot of money. And So let this time be your lesson that instead of just keeping, a couple days worth of food in your house, to start learning how you can store. And we did this in like a little townhouse. And yeah, it did get cramped and crowded when you had tons and tons of storage, but my house still was nice. It was still, livable. And I even was showing my sisters who lived in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment how they can store things under their beds, using bookshelves, going to the thrift stores and buying bookshelves that you can use as storage. And if you don't like to look at cans all the time, put a nice shower curtain or something over it. But there's always a way, and you have to have a mindset of, instead of I can't do that, you have to have a mindset of how can I do that, and figure it out. And you will, if you have a positive mindset of this is a good thing. Because when you're able to prepare, you're not only preparing for yourself, you're preparing for your family, your friends, your neighbors who haven't prepared. And that's important, because you don't want to be the fattest prepper out there. You want to be able to share. And that is my little joke, that in the end times I'll definitely be the fattest person out there, because we'll be prepared. And so meanwhile, I wasn't able to find hand sanitizer, but I had all the ingredients to make it. I even grow aloe at my home, and so I was able to use aloe to put into my hand sanitizer. And I use glycerin, vegetable glycerin, for my makeup and for to take off my makeup and stuff like that. So I had glycerin at my house so it could soften the blow of the alcohol. But not only that, there's other things we do. We buy batteries, and we have alternative power sources. We have multiple income sources. You can't just rely on your job, as you've seen. Lots of people have been laid off, and they're wondering how are they going to pay their rent, let alone prep. So you need to figure out how to have multiple sources of income in your life. You can't depend on your 9-to-5 anymore. You have to have something else in addition to it. Your 401k is great, but that's not until you're old, and that's years from now. So, read books. There's lots of books out there that teach you all kinds of stuff. Teach you, how to have a garden, how to grow herbs, what the herbs are good for, how to make tinctures, which are, like cough syrups and things like that. Expectorants, you can use licorice root tea for an expectorant. So if you were in a COVID-19 situation and couldn't get to the doctor, and somebody got pneumonia in your home, you would give them the licorice root tea to help them cough up all that fluid in their lungs. I mean, they might still die, but you want to feel like you're doing something. And that would help them relieve some of that. But that's just a few things. I don't want to make this a really long video. I just want to encourage you to use this time as a kind of a wake-up call to look at the situation you're in right now and think, how can I prepare myself for a future situation? Because it is going to happen again. It might not be a virus, but it's going to be something else. If you look over the last 20 years, all the different things that have happened to people, shit's going downhill, man. I mean, it's going crazy in a lot of places. But when you're prepared and you keep your head on your shoulders and you realize, okay, something bad is going to happen, so how can I prepare for it? then when it does finally happen, you're not freaking out going, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. I'm going to go dig a hole in my backyard and sit in it and wait for it to happen. No, you're going to be proactive. You're going to look like you know what the hell you're doing. And people are going to look up to you. They're going to say, oh, go to her, go to him. He knows what he's doing. He's got guns. He can go shoot a deer. They've got alternate sources of power so they can cook food. They can hook up your refrigerator to a generator. They can do all these different kind of things. They taught me how to can. They taught me how to sew. So you're going to be respected in your community too. Yeah, they might think you're crazy now, but eventually they're going to think you're a genius. So with that, I just want to tell you guys I do love you, and I hope you have a great day, and go make it a great day. And let me know what kind of prepping you're going to be doing. Thanks. Bye.